let's get into the show.
Woo!
So, like every cartoon on MTV that wasn't Daria or Beavis and Butthead, this got one season.
Mm-hmm. Well, really, honestly, like, every cartoon, every, like, primetime cartoon on any network that wasn't, like, the couple successful breakout hits, it only got one season. Because this also made me think of, like, shows like Mission Hill and stuff. We'll get into that later.
So Downtown, or MTV's Downtown, to make it a little more
Yeah,
easier.
I mean, the show is just called Downtown, but, like, Downtown is a lot of things.
Yeah. It's a animated show based on urban life. Apparently that was framed around interviews with real people. There's not that much information about this show because it was only one season. Not even on the blogs of the various creators. So I don't really know what based on interviews with real people means. But I do know that the cast is made up of mostly non-actors. Pretty much all non-actors.
I believe that.
Except for, I guess, Gregory Gilmore did some stuff, maybe? No.
If you click on this link, it redirects to Downtown.
Yeah,
okay.
So yeah, these are all just, like, peeps that they found, I guess.
And you can tell by the way that the show reads, it was definitely at least partially retro-scripted.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The dialogue, absolutely. Although, the guy who voiced Goat, they got him back to voice Goat in Megas XLR.
Yeah, and Metalocalypse. No. He's not voiced by the same guy in Metalocalypse, but it's the same character. He exists in all of these shows.
Good.
Yeah, the show was created by Chris Pronowski, I'm going to go for, who's also the guy, created Motor City, or did he just work on it?
Motor City was...
Yeah, he created and executive produced Motor City. Also worked on Metalocalypse, Beavis and Butthead, or at least a movie.
Yeah. Other creators are George Christic.
And then he went on to make Titmouse.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Was he at that panel we went to, Nikki?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. They all just seemed like a bunch of duders.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show was also created in part by George Christic and Andy Bierstein. So, I mean, it's kind of like a day in the life sort of thing. Like, it's very rooted in the time period. The show aired between August and November of 1999. It was just 13 episodes. It just kind of captures that time period, I guess, and, like, the problems of the youth of that time. Granted, it's kind of the same problems that, typical kind of sitcoms and shows about young people it's like, the one nerdy guy who's like a virgin, and it's like, oh no, I have to have the sex, and I can't ask a girl out, and everyone thinks I'm a loser.
I hate my retail job. I can't get into this club because I'm an underage person.
Oh my god.
The pigmen are stealing my brain.
The daily struggles, as we all know.
Yeah. The downtown in question is Manhattan.
Yeah, East Side.
Yes, it's very much rooted in New York culture. There was just one episode where, like, all these people who have lived in New York City their entire life is like, how the fuck does the subway work? Where are we going?
Well, it was neat for me to see that because, at the time there were no smartphones or, like, the internet wasn't that much of a thing. So, like, you couldn't just look up on your phone how to get to Coney Island like people do now. So it was kind of neat to see how people did actually get places without GPS back then.
And it turns out they just kind of made it up as they went along.
I mean, once you're underground, you got to do the same thing.
That's true. You just have to look at the map.
Yeah, once you already pay and you go through that turnstile, your phone just dies.
Yeah.
It turns to ash.
Yeah, pretty much. And that whole thing where the train will just stop in the middle because of construction, that's real. I've been dealing with that a lot this summer. That's how shall we approach this? I guess we'll just...
like plot-wise, there's something going on. What really endeared me to like what little of this show there was the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's entirely character-driven.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll just go through them, I guess. So we got Alex.
Not so much Al.
He's our main character.
Wish he wasn't.
He is like this nerdy guy, recently moved out of his parents' place into a shitty apartment, works at a copy center, like a Kinko's kind of place. He's trying to hook up with a girl, I guess. This is his main motivation in life, and be cool or not lame or whatever.
Yeah, the one thing the show talks about with his crush on this, he has on this girl Serena, is the nerd obsession, the obsession that nerdy dudes have with goth girls, and I didn't realize that was like a common thing. I thought that was just me. And you can also tell it's a product of the time because goths were still a thing.
I mean, I think haven't they just been replaced these days with what some people would call alt girls?
Yeah, I mean, goths exist, but they're not like...
It's the same genre of aesthetic.
Yeah,
in terms of what they do to themselves to look the way they look.
I would say it was called emo in the early 2000s, and now it's just like alt, where it incorporates elements of like...
We're watering it down more and more until hopefully it just stops.
We're not like
and you can just wear what you like and still be a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes comic books and collects toys and plays video games and is probably a virgin and blah,
and
blah,
sucks.
blah.
He doesn't even do anything I dislike. He doesn't do anything. This is what draws me to the show so much, and this is why I didn't immediately come to you like, let's just not do this one for our 50th or at all. Was like all these other characters have qualities that I find really dumb and unlikable in real people, but it's like this show does a really good job of showing like the complexity of people. It's like, yeah, a lot of these characters are dumb or vain or just like not on the right track
just
in life,
people
just doing
I don't
really
wanna
stupid shit.
Hang out with ever.
But it's like, you know what? They're doing their best.
Yeah.
They have really endearing moments. And I got surprised at myself of how much I came to really enjoy everybody except Alex.
Yeah.
Well, then we got Chaka, which is Alex's younger sister, played by Leora Zuberman. She's like... At first I thought she was in university, but apparently she's in high school.
Yeah, there's one episode where 4 of them are in high school, presumably senior year.
Yeah, because
I hope so.
I thought they said she was 19, and I'm like, you gotta be done by high school.
Or not. I mean, she got held
Maybe
back.
they just wanted to do an episode in high school.
I don't know. But she definitely channels that time period with like her fashion and her hairdo and the club scene thing, and I don't know.
Yeah, because her whole aesthetic is kind of, indicative of that era when white people were just discovering black culture.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. She's a pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
She's really full of herself. She's stubborn. She wants what she wants. She doesn't really respect anybody.
She got so angry at her friend she shaved her cooter.
I mean, she just does shit. She just hangs out and gets in people's way and like gets in trouble and likes to go on weird adventures. I think the only friend she has that she really likes is Mecca, which is her best friend. But she hangs out with Fruity and Matt just 'cause, I guess. Because they're guys.
Fruity was the character I was surprised I liked the most.
Yeah. Fruity's played by Marco H. Rodriguez, and he's this self-appointed playboy.
He's just a walking penis.
Yeah.
In every way. In multiple ways, because he's a dick.
He never stops talking about girls or wanting to hit on girls, to the point where even his best friend is like, dude, for fuck's sake, like, can we have a conversation about something for once?
Dude, ruined my baby sister's baptism.
Yo, man, she's gonna be hot, though. But because my favorite is, like, they turn it into a character trait. Like, he'll be doing something, and then he'll just, like, drop whatever he's holding literally, and just go hit up this chick. And, like, in the middle of a basketball game while they're on the train, just everything.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But he's actually not that suave. He says he's suave, but when he actually has relations...
Nobody who says they're suave is suave. That's the rule.
Yeah.
People who are suave are too busy having sex to say it.
Yeah. Their mouth is too covered with other people.
Well, he has had sex. That's been implied. But because apparently that's like a really important thing in this universe. Because
The one we occupy currently?
yeah, apparently, I don't know. Because this is, 20 to 30 something urban people or whatever.
Yeah, these are late late 90s teens to early 20s. That's all they've been told to care about, and there's nothing else around them telling them anything else.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to be concerned about at all in life. Then we got Goat. Oh, Goat. He's voiced by Scott Reinecker, who apparently is a tattoo artist in real life in Jersey.
I believe it.
A friend of the creators. God, he's like, how do you describe this man?
He's Goat.
I feel like shouldn't be hanging out with them.
No, he should. Yeah, he's got like this whole heavy metal aesthetic going on. He's got Lemmy Kilmister facial hair and like fucking literal pauldrons, and constantly brown bagging some liquor.
He's almost homeless.
Yeah, he's the guy I would hate to hang out with, but in this context, he's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, he's so much fun.
Like this is basically what he's doing when he's not working the junkyard in Megas XLR.
I guess. He just kind of fucks around and hangs out with these teenagers and...
Because all the older people are smart enough to know he shouldn't be near them.
He doesn't really care. He's just kind of there to have a good time. Like, he's going to sleazy bars and picking up whatever chick he can manage to pick up and... I don't know.
Quoting Star Trek all the time.
Yeah, that was the best. Honestly, like, when him and Alex did go on that night out together, that was like a good moment in terms of how they handle everybody's all crazy for sex, because it's like it sort of tells what I think a lot of people don't say, is that like, oh, you can totally get sex whenever you want. You just have to bang somebody that you probably shouldn't.
Or don't want to, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's easy if you don't care about yourself.
Like Goat. Goat doesn't care.
No.
Well, he cares enough to wear rubber that he buys in the bathroom, but, And then we have Jen, who is Alex's best friend, voiced by Tammy Lang. She's like the resident snarky, like, not...
She wishes she watches Daria.
Yeah, like, not girly girl and proud of it, kind of...
Even though kind of not proud of it at all secretly.
Yeah, like, I like Jen, and then I don't like Jen, because, I mean, she's funny, and she's got a cool attitude, but at the same time, she's, like, impossible to talk to.
Yeah, she lays it on really thick.
Like, it's impossible to say anything to her. And more than that, it's like, I understand, like, it's part of, like, her own insecurities, but she has, like, a lot of women-hating stuff going on that I don't think is super cool, and I don't really like.
Oh, yeah, no.
Judging other girls, even though,
well, again, like that's part of that's part of the character.
Yeah,
like she's just as flawed as them.
Exactly, and it's kind of like, geez, here we go.
This is a show about terrible people.
Oh, geez, skinny bitches, yay, hooray, whoo!
I did like when she was drunk at that really swanky
Oh, that
party.
was the best. That was her crowning moment.
I think she was my favorite character. Yeah,
and then she barfed on the piano.
She barfed on the piano with. I mean, the barf, Foley, or whatever, was really good.
The barf Foley.
So you could hear all the stuff rattling around.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember.
Knocking against her teeth.
Yeah.
And that episode, I think maybe one of the reasons why this show is so hard to find now and why it hasn't had a re-release, because they just have people singing that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And there's a couple other bits of, like, copyrighted music that maybe they didn't license. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I forget what it was. I should be... Every time I watch a show, I think I should take notes for the podcast, but I never do. There was some piece of music that I thought was specific to a show and wasn't, like, an original piece of music. Like, the House MD theme song is in this show.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, apparently they sample a lot of stuff. I guess that's part of the urban life.
But it's like,
thing.
I'm pretty sure this was before House. So I guess the theme song is a pre-existing song.
I don't know. I just know
'Cause I
that
know
they used a lot of stuff that they probably weren't supposed to.
Either that or the song itself, because the song itself, it's like a rap beat, so maybe the song itself is just one of those quote-unquote samples, even though it's like, oh, this is the same fucking song.
I just looked it up. The theme song to House MD is a song called Teardrop by Massive Attack, which was released in
1998. Okay, so yeah.
But House actually got permission to use it, and this show did not.
Because it was MTV.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, we have all the licenses, right? Probably.
Then there's Matt, who's Fruity's best friend, who's just kind of the other guy, kind of rounds out the cast. He's voiced by Hector Fontanez. He's a tagger. He skateboards.
I like Matt.
He's chill. He's the most chill out of all of them.
Yeah.
Like, I might actually want to hang out with him.
Yeah, like when he took them tagging, like that was a cool moment for him because it was like he came out of his shell.
Yeah, that was super cool.
It also illuminates some stuff I was wondering about because like when I was in New York with Nina, I'm like, how do these motherfuckers get there? That's where the train goes. Do they go in between the trains? No, they just go at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And there's Mecca, which is Chaka's best friend, who also just kind of rounds out the cast. She's voiced by Aurora Lucia Levy. Her main personality trait is that she's like a hopeless romantic, I guess.
Yeah, like she totally buys into that to like the whole like find a dude find a dude, get married, have kids, a room with a view, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, the main problem with that sort of mindset is it's like you care more about the fantasy relationship than who you're actually doing it with, and so that's probably why people get divorced.
Yeah, like Chaka was always like, well, who is this guy? What does he look like?
Yeah. And she's like, that doesn't matter. Nah, forget it, but nah.
No, but I know exactly what color all the fucking doilies are gonna be at our wedding.
Yeah. Like, you can just get a house. I mean, you can, it's hard, but also you don't, like, another person isn't required, just get a house. It'll be just as hard with the second person, trust me.
They just sell them.
I mean, they do that. And then Serena, who is the goth girl, object of Alex and all the nerd guys' affections, voiced by Phoebe Summer Squash.
That's a crazy name.
Yeah.
That's just like, it's just Patty Mayonnaise.
Yeah, but this is the
same
actor,
character,
not the character.
Basically. That's weird, then.
Well,
yeah, it is sort of the same character with a different palette.
Yeah, kind of.
Serving the same purpose.
Yeah.
But we don't get to learn too much about her. We get to learn some stuff, which is, it's nice when we see her, like, actually talk about, like, her feelings and crap and her position.
I think for a
and things.
13-episode show, they did a pretty good job at making her a person. Obviously, it's not perfect, considering that as a character, she was conceived to be an object of affection, but she did have some moments in which she was able to become a human goddamn being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's great that the show got to make her out into a human, because I'm questionable on Alex's ability to do that.
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Dipshit. And then another recurring character is Leia, who's Jen's roommate, who has a lot of sex and it annoys Jen.
He's always depicted half naked, always bringing guys home, purposely older guys so she can get money and stuff. You know, playing the game.
I think maybe my favorite thing about Jen is that she had number 3 sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. All flippy. I loved when Goat dressed up as her and had them too.
That was great.
That was pretty fun.
God, yeah. Honestly, this show isn't like amazing or anything, but I walked away with it really thinking like, I don't know, I feel like one more season would have really been super cool, just to see what they would have done.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you always need that second season just to see where you're taking it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, they established it. Like, okay, you got all these young 20-somethings, teenagers in the city. Like, what now? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna actually is Alex gonna get a job? Is Selena gonna actually find somebody who doesn't treat her like an object? Whether or not that's Alex. Does Chaka ever fucking get over herself? Will Goat continue to be...
Are Alex and Jen gonna realize you can just do it, and it's not a thing? Just shut up. Just do it.
Just fucking a car. That was one of my favorite goofs. Is like, okay, driver, what do people usually do when they get a limo? They usually either go to a strip club or to the airport. JFK! That was the thing that bothered me the most about this show. And I understand that, this is a show from 15 years ago. And I'm coming at it from a more contemporary perspective when this is now the norm. But it normally how the status quo is maintained in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
There was no character growth. Nobody changed their life situation. Like, every episode was about them almost doing it and then not.
Yep.
Yeah, very 90s.
Yeah.
I do not like the 90s.
Although my favorite status quo thing, because it's like they ended that one episode about Alex losing his Whoopi with him meeting that girl and just actually having a real conversation with her and like planning a date, and then the episode's over and I'm like, oh, are we gonna see her? But like, nope, the credit goof is that she's insane. She's an insane Muppet person.
She's actually a Muppet woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good take on that.
Those credits were fun, mostly because the credits jam at the end is pretty bumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opening and closing jams were really good. Like hip hop breakbeat flair.
Although it's like, honestly, like this show has the most non sequitur cold openings of any cold opening I've ever seen. It's like sometimes there's not even a joke; they're just doing shit, and then the credits start, and they're like, oh, okay.
Well, I guess it's like kind of part of the whole thing, where like it's supposed to be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
how people live in the city, and this is what
And
it's
how they
like
think.
To be a
Yeah.
urban person in the 20s or whatever.
That was another thing. I really did enjoy that they would just go into random anecdotes,
Yeah.
and like, because it was really naturally told. And I guess that's the portion. Because when you said that, like, oh, they're based off of interviews, that immediately came to mind, because it just sounds like some duder's talking.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just somebody that you talk to on the street telling some crazy story, and I loved how the animation got all cool and funky with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Chris
it also...
Pronowski, like, was most famous for animating the trip out scene in the Beavis and Butthead movie. So that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
And, like, it also, like, because with how they would just sort of, like, how it would randomly cut away to this non sequitur story for a few minutes, it made me go, like, Family Guy just should have done this, and then I wouldn't hate them.
Yeah.
Because that's all Family Guy does. But bad.
Yeah, but these are, like, real stories that, like, dumb people or smart people or whatever people just tell to each other randomly. Like, well, we're just hanging out in Washington Square Park like you do. I guess that's what people do. I don't know. I don't live in Manhattan. Let's just talk about fucking, I don't know.
This one time, a thing happened.
This one time, this guy...
On the train, picked up a gun, and it scared me.
That scared me real bad.
Yeah, I kind of like the animation in this show because the lines are pretty fluid. It's not like full on squiggle vision, but you can tell that if there's any motion, they like redraw the entire character.
Yeah, it's you can tell it's drawn, and like also like the thing about it is that makes it all squiggly. The line art's not clean.
Yeah, the
They
line
didn't
art's
clean
all
up the line
sketchy.
art. Yeah, it's extremely like I just kind of looked at it going like, wow, this is how this is basically how I draw. And then I have to spend the next, 3 hours cleaning it the fuck up.
It's to create that urban feel, man. It's all gritty and raw and real.
Yo!
You just don't understand.
Okay.
So, my question for you guys is, there are a lot of episodes that are really just about the fact that they live where they live. And, that's a common trope in a lot of TV shows where it's like, oh, New York is the center of the universe and we're just gonna base entire plots off the fact that we have a New York problem and everyone else will relate to it because, I guess, I don't know. And, I do live in New York now. You guys don't. So was that Subway episode, any fun at all?
Yeah, because I could... Just because the dialogue is so well written and believable, because it's based on, real dialogue, that I could totally tell, like, just the way they acted, the way they spoke about it, and the way they argued over what's the best direction to take. Like, they both know so well because they both live in New York. It was like, okay, like this. I really dug it. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. By the way, Matt was right. That's the best way to go. It's straight.
Honestly,
The last stop is Coney Island.
It never occurred to me to even care who was right.
I figured it would have changed by now.
No, it's the same. Like, see, that's how I know that I live in New York, because I actually took out my map and I was like, where the fuck are they? What are they doing?
Did you like chart their path?
I kind of did, yeah. I was like, that's the thing, the details of the backgrounds are really spot on. Like, those subway stations look the same, even like the typography on the signs and everything, like,
I mean, they probably did it like how anime do, where they'll just take a picture and then just be like, draw this place.
Yeah.
That actually was one of my favorite goofs in the whole show. Was in that episode. It's like a train pulls up, like, the B train. What the hell is that?
Yeah, no, I've had that exact same thing with the B train. I was like, with my friend, she was like, "Oh, you could take the B or the Q," and I was like, "The B?
What the fuck kind of letter is B?"
And the B train sucks. Oh, it was God, that was terrible the last time I was on the fucking B train.
I think actually that episode in particular, like, it's mostly a New York thing, but here's the thing, public transportation in every city is inscrutable.
All over the world.
DC public transit's really easy.
The lines are easy, but like everything else, it's like, okay, what fucking direction am I going? How do I pay for my goddamn ticket?
Doesn't the sign tell you what direction the line is bound in?
Not very well.
Huh.
I mean, obviously the New York City train system is just a shit show.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if there's a city with a more incomprehensible train system. I mean, yeah, DC's nice because it's like, there's like 7 lines.
It's like the play school version of public transportation. Like, that map is so easy.
Each line is just a color because they have that few.
Or like the episode about the club. Like, I think the episode was called Hotspot. Like, that's a thing, like, I mean, that kind of thing happens all the time. I don't know about clubs. I mean, I'm not really into the club scene. I don't know how it's doing right now, or whatever. But I would imagine that
how's the club scene
I would
doing
imagine
these days?
I'm definitely not a cop.
I would imagine at that time it was a little bit more of a thing than it is now.
Probably.
So that was more like a topical thing. But like, yeah, I mean, businesses will be closed and replaced with other trendier businesses, which now would be more like, I don't know, fusion food places.
I mean, shit, that happens all the time on my college campus in Newark, fucking Delaware. But I think that's more because it's Delaware, so your tiny ass weird business can't stay open for more than a year. You idiot! Go someplace where there's people.
Sam Kinison is dead, and Tooch is taking up the mantle.
College kids don't want your grilled cheese meltdown, idiot.
I do. It was interesting for me to see because, like, you know, this show takes place like 15 fucking years ago, and the city was really different. The vibe was different. The things that people talked about and cared about was kind of different in its own way. And like, that's just kind of the nature. Like, with New York, it's like, a lot of times you think it's this static entity, like, oh, it's New York, it's like this magical place or whatever. It's like, it changes. Everybody's New York is a different New York because most people who live in New York will move out of New York at some point and have their own memories of what it was like and be like, I remember when I was blah blah and we had the fun at whatever, West Houston.
Oh, you met my grandma.
We were playing stickball in the street. It's like, dude, you were born in 1982.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have these, you know, even people from the 90s saying like, oh man, New York in the 90s. It's all been to it's not the same. Like,
yeah, I bet it's better. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I mean, how the skyline has even changed recently. They added that big new building.
Yeah.
The Freedom Tower.
That building's ugly as shit.
Well, so are the old ones. I mean, Oh, that was another thing, is that those buildings were in the show, and maybe that's why they won't release it on DVD.
I don't know, I feel like we've gotten over that.
We've gotten over that.
Not if you look at the GOP primaries.
Oh, jeez.
Topical.
I guess one episode I related to a lot was the con, where Alex is like, no, I can't buy all these toys anymore. I have to be an adult, goddammit. Because, I mean, if you know me, in real life, like 25% of my room consists of toys. At least. So I do get that feeling from time to time where I'm like, man, I am like so caught up in this nonsense. When is it gonna end? Am I just gonna be doing this forever?
On the plus side, if you ever do decide to end it, you can make bang!
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what the guy said. Or the sister said to Alex. It's like, well, you just sell them and you'll make a lot of money. I mean, the reason why I rode the fucking B train in the first place was so I could go to my friend's house and build a model kit.
Of Proto Man that I gave you for your birthday.
Yeah, I finished him before we recorded. He's super cool. But like, yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I do still relate to that's not just a 90s problem, like that whole like permanent adolescent state that a lot of young people are kind of caught in, where
I think it's worse now.
it's even worse.
Yes, absolutely.
It's absolutely even, like, you know, and the show made it seem like Alex was just this freak, where like, nowadays everybody is in his position.
Honestly, because Alex didn't have the internet to meet a whole bunch of other people exactly like him to feel vindicated.
Alex didn't have BuzzFeed to be like, oh no, this is what news is. News is...
Oh god, Alex would absolutely subscribe to Loot Crate.
Oh my god.
I like that one thing the goat said is like, oh, if he dies, make sure to give me his Sailor Moon shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite line, Goat.
Goat knows what's up.
Yeah, man.
And related to Sailor Moon, in the con episode, I would say that those were mean and retrograde stereotypes about anime fans if they weren't entirely fucking true.
Yeah,
except none of them would be able to beat anybody up.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole episode just kind of put me off a little bit. Because, I mean, I guess this was before nerd thing was cool. Because now we're like, oh, nerd shit's cool. And before then it wasn't. So it's like, what? I don't even know. I feel like a child. And it was kind of hard for me to watch the show in the beginning. Because I was just like, oh my god. No.
Well, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like, my whole thing with the whole toy figure collection is, it's like, I mean, like, these are the things I like. So it's like, what else am I gonna decorate my stupid home with? It's either I collect all this shit, or I have like a blank white modern 60s home.
And now you have like adult shit. You get
with like one of those with like a turnstile next to one of those egg chairs.
You get like shit from IKEA, and you look like an adult.
Nah, fuck it.
I don't know. I
mean, yeah, what else am I going to decorate my house with? I guess, like, the other thing would be, like, prints of Salvador Dali paintings, and then, like, that's pretentious, I think, for a young person to have art.
I mean, I have art, but it's all of, like...
fan art.
Monkey D. Luffy. No, my Luffy, well, I have fan art, but I have one Luffy poster that is drawn by each.
Like, I was putting my room together, I'm like, Nikki, do I have a children's room? Am I a child baby?
Children don't have that good of taste.
I think my answer was that kids don't have that much money.
Yeah.
I guess just like, oh, I'm New York and life is tough and money. But it's even worse now, so kind of looking at these guys, I think that's why I like the show, but I had a really hard time really liking it. Because man, I hate these 90s kids with their fucking 90s kids problems that aren't real.
Like these are the real 90s kids. I was 8.
Yeah, like fuck them. Fuck all of them. I hate them. I hate them and their bullshit and their stupid problems that don't exist.
Goat's cool though, cause he's probably like 30.
Goat's living his life the way he wants.
I mean, Goat had problems, but they were all the result of substance abuse. And it's not like he was, like, violent or lashed out. He just thought that the government was gonna steal his brain.
Goat's aware of the bed he made for himself, and he's more than willing to lie in it.
Yeah.
This bed is where all my stuff is.
All my socks.
None of them match.
All of them are full of semen.
All of them so crunchy, crispy.
Oh no. Now I can't eat Rice Krispie Treat cereal again.
Well, I mean, like, my problems are small and dumb, but, like...
Not as small and dumb as these small
like,
dummies.
I have to actually worry about where the fuck I'm gonna live, because... And I'm like, you know, not once do I hear any of these fuckheads talk about, like, rent.
Yeah, it's like, cause like an episode, cause like all, like that first episode, it's like like the first or second episode, wherever he's bitching about, like, where he's living, and I'm like, but you have a place!
Yeah.
And it's okay.
By
you cleaned it up.
yourself. You have a single room.
Yeah,
You don't have to deal with a roommate who will definitely kill you.
You can clean that shit up.
And he did. His house looked fine.
You're in a nice neighborhood. You're walking distance from your job. Like,
shut up, Alex.
The window's bad. Shut up.
whatever. Go die. I hate you.
14th episode, he's hit by a bus.
Ugh.
That's why the show stopped.
Yeah.
I mean...
The creators killed him off script and then just decided, yep, that's it, we're done.
But, like, seriously, how can you even afford to live with a shitty date, low-wage job? Like, minimum wage job? What are you talking about?
I guess the cost of living was lower back then.
I guess.
Well, I guess the idea was maybe his place was so shitty it was affordable, but it's like, it's not that shitty.
It's not that shitty.
You'd think that that's how it would work, but in New York, that's not how it works. You're gonna find yourself paying like $1,500 for rent for an apartment that's like 9.5 square feet.
Pretty much.
And like the apartment is gonna be 2 floors above a literal slaughterhouse.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess I was just like, why is it? It all just comes down to fucking sex and shit. Like, is that really the only thing that was a...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing that was a problem.
Nobody
in the
deal
90s.
with debt, you know,
Nope.
fucking social class issues, fucking...
The budget was balanced for a bit.
For like 5 minutes.
We thought we were doing okay.
Then the boomers.
The boomers.
Da boomers.
Oh, my buddy Vince, who, I mean, Tooch and I both met him at the same time at Anime Expo. He's in Japan right now, and he sent me a picture of this button he found in Harajuku that says "Barf on Reaganomics," and he said, "This is the most Nicky thing I've ever seen."
It is. You need it.
I do need that.
You need to, like, pin it to your flesh.
Yeah, basically, Goat needed to be the main character. Oh, we forgot to mention, the show was actually nominated for a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program for the episode Before and After, which was the episode with the Whoopee.
And the shaved cooter.
And the shaved cooter. And the Muppet Lady.
Just more proof that the Emmys the Emmys just kind of happen.
I mean, the animation in the show is really fun to look at. Like, I really like the show's style a lot.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it looks like it's definitely pushing a small budget. Really stretching it out.
Yeah, these guys knew what they were doing. These guys knew what they were doing with what they had.
Definitely. I mean, it's
Like,
very impressive looking in all regards.
I mean, they had all already worked on Beavis and Butthead. Producers, directors, a lot of the same people. Tooch, do you have any concluding thoughts about the show? Because Nina's, I think, made her opinion very well known.
They're dumb.
oh yeah, no, like,
They're all dummies.
like I said before, it's like they're all dummies, but it's just like, this is really like, what I took away was any one of these characters would be individually like the unredeemable like idiot or douche in a totally different show about better people. But it's like, but this is their daily life, so we get to see them actually trying to be like a person, because it's like everybody, no matter how much of a shithead they are, in the back of their mind they're like, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
And that's these guys. They think they're doing okay. Like, they're all just trying their best, and that's what I super dig about them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's the only way to get by in life in general. And especially when you're in a crazy place like the big city.
Because it's like, especially whenever Chaka and Fruity get into an argument, I'm like, this is babies fighting.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is two babies fighting. Neither of them know anything. Oh my god, it's like that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, not the best show on TV, but I think it at least deserved a second season. If it's got 2 seasons, I would have
watched.
This got the run of the season.
I would have watched more.
Yeah, I think a lot of shows, don't come into their own until the second season. Like, can you imagine if Bob's Burgers only had that first season?
Yeah, no.
No, we would have still been like, this is a tragedy, but we wouldn't have known how much.
Yeah,
Bob's Burger season 1 of Bob's Burgers is more enjoyable after you watch like seasons 3 and 4, and you get what they were doing.
Like, there's a lot of stuff here that's very good and really interesting and enjoyable. Like, I really love the episode Hotel Bar with Leah and Goat, and it's fucking hilarious. It's great. It would have been nice to see what it could have turned into with more time to, like, explore and grow and actually do something with their main character in particular and their other characters as well.
Like throw them in a dumpster?
Yes.
I mean, it's weird because I ended up sympathizing with him a lot, which I guess is telling of my character, but not in, like, a good way. Like, I sympathize with him in the way where I'm like, oh, man... That's me. No.
Also, are Cropsies a thing?
Yes. I think it's a New York-centric urban legend.
That's what I figured.
About Jersey Woods people.
There's a lot of urban legend stuff going on. Most of which I wasn't familiar with, to be honest.
Anyway, I think that's our opinions on Downtown. You can check it out on YouTube. A person has uploaded all the episodes. The channel name is MTV's Downtown Fan Page or something like that.
They're surprisingly good condition quality.
Yeah, that's probably the same quality it aired at.
Well, probably because the creator, Chris Pronowski, on his blog, if you drop him $25, he'll send you the full series on DVD. So it's likely they might have ripped it from that.
Or I have to either he can rip it because he's got it, or it's like he just has like stacks in his closet of DVDs.
Well, they're kind of like makeshift. He kind of says like, I mean, I guess he has full ownership at the show, so he says the show is free. What you're paying for is the shipping, handling, and the DVD and box itself. So I guess he just goes out and buys that shit and then puts the show on there and gives it to you. I don't know.
Oh, so does he has full rights to the show?
Apparently, if he can just sell this shit on his own, on his blog.
Well, maybe because, like you said, you're not paying for it, so technically he's not making a profit because he has to pay for shipping, so maybe that's...
Maybe.
Well, it's probably a combination of that and... Yeah, MTV doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to own this legally, hit him up.